Namaste, Namaskaram, and welcome to Infinite Abundance. Let's look into Hindu rituals and practices. This is a multi-part episode, and in part 1, we explored rituals that shape daily Hindu life. In part 2, we discussed the sacred knowledge of Vedas, Vedantas, and Puranas, and the sound and spiritual discipline. In part 3, we dived into the cultural expression and sacred symbols in daily life. Now, in this part, which is part 4, we will understand the rituals, the science, and symbolism of temple worship. When you step into a Hindu temple, you hear bells ringing, you smell incense in the air. You see lamps flickering in golden light. You feel something shift inside you. Temple worship in Hinduism is not random ritual. It is encoded symbolism. It is psychology expressed through gesture. It is cosmology expressed through architecture. And it is devotion expressed through senses. In this episode, we decode the science and symbolism behind temple worship and understand how every act is designed to transform the devotee from within. Now let's look into what is puja. Puja is one of the most visible expressions of Hindu devotion, but Puja is not mere ritual. It is symbolic communication between the devotee and the divine. The word puja means reverence, honor, adoration. At its heart, puja is the act of inviting the divine into one's presence. Traditionally, a puja includes avahana, which means invocation, asana, which means offering a seat, padya, which means washing of the feet, arghya, which means offering water, and abhisheka, which is ritual bathing, offering clothes, flowers, incense, lamp, and food. Did you notice something remarkable? These steps mirror how we welcome an honored guest into our home. In Hindu philosophy, God is not distant. The divine can be approached as guest, friend, parent, child, beloved. Puja makes the abstract personal. Each offering carries symbolism. Flowers represent purity of heart. Incense represents the fragrance of character. Lamp represents knowledge. Food offering represents surrender of ego. The external ritual trains the internal attitude. Over time, puja evolves from action to emotion, and from emotion to awareness. True puja is not mechanical. It is devotion expressed through presence. Now let's look at why a kalash is installed in a puja. At the beginning of major rituals, a kalash is installed. A sacred pot filled with water, topped with mango leaves, crowned with a coconut. Why this arrangement? The kalash represents creation itself. The pot symbolizes the womb. The water represents life. The mango leaves represent the 5 senses. The coconut represents consciousness. In Vedic symbolism, the Kalash is a microcosm of the universe. The water inside is energized with mantras. It represents abundance, fertility, and divine presence. During Navaratri or housewarming ceremonies, Kalash Sthapana invokes divine energy into the space. The Kalash is also associated with Goddess Lakshmi, the embodiment of prosperity. But the deeper meaning is profound. We prepare a vessel, ourselves, to hold divine energy. The Kalash reminds us that the human body is also a sacred container of consciousness. Now let's look into the significance of lighting a lamp. No ritual begins without lighting a lamp, the Deepam. Darkness symbolizes ignorance. Light symbolizes knowledge. When we light a lamp, we affirm, "May wisdom remove ignorance." The symbolism runs deep. The oil represents accumulated tendencies and karma. The wick represents ego. The flame represents spiritual awakening. As the wick burns, ego dissolves. In many homes, lamps are lit at sunrise and sunset, transitional times of energy shifts. Scientifically, the gentle flame induces calmness. The focused gaze enhances concentration. Spiritually, the flame represents the eternal light of the Atma, the inner self. The ancient Upanishadic prayer declares, "From darkness lead me to light." The lamp is not just illumination, it is aspiration made visible. Why do we perform Aarti? Aarti is the ritual of waving a lamp in circular motion before the deity. But why the circular movement? The circle represents the cyclical nature of life, the orbit of planets, the rhythm of time. The flame is rotated clockwise in harmony with the cosmic movement. After the Aarti, devotees pass their hands over the flame and touch their eyes or head. This gesture means, "May this divine light enter me." Aarti is both offering and receiving. Bells ring, conch shells sound, devotional songs rise. Sound, light, fragrance, and rhythm merge into multi-sensory experience. It stimulates the mind, it elevates emotion, it anchors attention. Aarti concludes worship, but it begins celebration. Devotion becomes joy. Why is betel leaf used in rituals? Betel leaf, also known as pan, appears frequently in rituals. Why such importance? The leaf represents freshness and prosperity. Its heart-shaped form symbolizes devotion. It is often placed beneath offerings or used to hold coins, turmeric, or sacred items. In Ayurveda, betel leaf has digestive and purifying properties. Symbolically, Offering betel leaf expresses hospitality, respect, and auspiciousness. Even in weddings, betel leaves are exchanged between families as a gesture of goodwill. The message is simple: offer with sincerity, offer with freshness of heart. What is the significance of sandalwood or chandan? Sandalwood paste or the chandan paste is applied to both the deity and devotee. Why sandalwood? First, it has natural cooling properties essential in warm climates. But symbolically, sandalwood represents purity, calmness, detachment. Even when cut or rubbed, sandalwood releases fragrance. This becomes a spiritual metaphor. Even under pressure, maintain fragrance of character. Applying sandalwood to forehead cools the region associated with the Agnya Chakra, the center of awareness. It reduces agitation. Sandalwood is devotion expressed as gentleness. Why is a coconut offered in temples? The coconut is among the most sacred offerings in Hindu temples. It is layered with symbolism. The outer husk represents ego. The hard shell represents ignorance. The white interior represents purity. When a coconut is broken before the deity, it symbolizes breaking the ego. The water inside represents inner emotions. Offering coconut means I surrender my ego and offer my pure self. Some see the 3 dark marks on the shell as a symbolic of Lord Shiva's 3 eyes, awareness beyond duality. The act is simple, but the symbolism is profound. True worship requires inner breathing before outer offering. Why do we circumambulate at a temple? Circumambulation, called pradakshina, involves walking clockwise around the deity. Why clockwise? Because in Hindu cosmology, celestial bodies move in rhythmic harmony around a central force. When we perform pradakshina, we declare, the divine is the center of my life. Walking in a circle symbolizes wholeness and completion. It physically enacts a spiritual truth. Life revolves around higher consciousness. Even psychologically, repetitive circular walking induces meditative calm. Movement becomes meditation. Steps become surrender. Why is taking a bath before temple darshan important? Cleanliness holds deep significance in Hindu tradition. Bathing before a temple visit is not merely about hygiene. It symbolizes purification. Water has always represented cleansing physically and spiritually. Ancient temples were built with water tanks nearby for ritual bathing. Bathing refreshes the body, calms the nervous system, and prepares the senses. Entering sacred space requires awareness. Purity is mental clarity. Bathing before darshan means I prepare myself before meeting the divine. The outer cleansing reflects inner intention. Why are temples closed during an eclipse? Solar and lunar eclipses have long been treated with reverence and caution. During eclipses, temples often close, deities may be covered, food is not consumed. And why is that? Traditionally, eclipses were believed to disturb cosmic balance. Symbolically, they represent temporary obstruction of light. After the eclipse, temples are cleansed, ritual purification is performed. Modern science confirms that eclipse affects tides and animal behavior. Ancient cultures observed celestial rhythms closely. Temple closure reflects alignment with cosmic cycles. It shows Hindu ritual is not isolated from astronomy. It is integrated with nature. When we observe temple worship closely, we realize something powerful. These are not blind practices. They are encoded wisdom. They blend psychology, symbolism, astronomy, Ayurveda, and devotion. Hinduism does not separate sacred from daily life. Every action can become worship. Every object can become symbolic. Every moment can become sacred. The temple is not merely a building. It is a training ground for awareness. In the next episode, we can explore the architecture and energy science of Hindu temples. Until then, may your actions be mindful, may your rituals be conscious, and may your life itself become puja.